name is Karle Roberts, and I'm the Family Engagement Coordinator here at Compass Charter Schools. I would like to thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to listen to this recording. I would also like to thank our two talented guest presenters, Jennings, who's one of our English teachers, and Jason B., who's one of our history teachers. They've both taken time out of their busy schedules to help with this presentation, so thank you so much. Today we are going to be sharing with you some ideas and resources to help you help your scholars learn to love history and English. Before we begin, I would like to take a quick second to remind you that at Compass Charter Schools we have 5 core values. They are achievement, respect, teamwork, integrity, and communication. These serve as our guiding principles for our scholars, our learning coaches, and for our staff. Each month this year, we are recognizing one of our core values. We started with achievement and we're moving all the way through to communication, as we know the importance of our core values and we want them to remain in the forefront of all of our minds. And I'm so glad to have you joining with us today as we continue to dig deeper into the role of the learning coach and how you can help your scholars at home learn to love English and history. Mrs. Jennings will be covering English and some fun links for you to use at home, as well as some helpful links. And then Mr. B will be covering history with some helpful links and then some interest-building links for history. All of these links will be found on a resource page that is available for download in the description of this video on our YouTube channel. So I will now pass it over.
Hi everyone, I'm Mrs. Jennings. I'm the 12th grade English teacher at Compass. Just a few links that I thought I would share. These are just fun links that can kind of get you interested in English, literature, grammar. The first one is called Shmoop. It just has some English videos, flashcards, story info. So say you're looking at maybe a story in class and you want a little more background information on it. You can go to this website and search for it. So let me just go ahead and share that with you. Okay, so they have a whole list of titles here. If you click on some of these, they'll give you more resources. They'll give you some quick videos, just some quick backgrounds, fun backgrounds on the texts to kind of get you a little more interested in the readings before you actually start reading them. So it's kind of like a way to get into some of the texts in class, some of the short stories or novels. Okay, the next site that I wanted to take a look at is called Google Lit Trips. Okay, and you'll need to download Google Earth before you kind of take a look at some of these titles that they have for download. Once you do that, you can kind of scroll through their library. They have K through 12 novels and stories. If you come here, this just gives you, you can click on one of these, one of these stories. In our class, let's see, we're going to be reading Frankenstein, so we're going to be taking a look at that one here. And it'll take you to the places in the novel that the writer, was writing about. It'll give you some pictures of the settings. It'll kind of show you maybe some of the journeys that these characters went on as well. So it's kind of fun to just take a look at some of those maps and kind of plot the chart that's being discussed in the novel. Okay. A few other fun links. If you're really into creative writing, this is a website called Twine that will allow you to create your own, choose your own adventure story. So you can create this and then present it online, and your reader can read certain excerpts of what you've written and then choose different directions that they want to go in the story. So it's kind of a cool website. The next one is Argument Wars. This will help you with any kind of argumentative writing. If you want to kind of practice, your argumentative skills, this is a fun website where you can do that. They have court cases where you can, take either side of some of these famous cases and argue your case. And then the last fun site is called Free Rice. This is just a fun, kind of silly grammar game that also allows you to donate rice to people in other countries who need, who need that donation. And every answer that you get correct, you'll be donating food to needy people. So it's kind of a cool website. Some helpful links that I kind of compiled here. A lot of my scholars say, well, while they're reading these texts, they kind of drift off. It doesn't maybe, hold their attention. So one way to kind of get into the text a little bit more is to listen to maybe an audiobook while you're looking at the text. Okay, it kind of brings it to life a little bit more. So I recommend YouTube Greatest Audiobooks channel. This is a site where they have a lot of the big titles, well-known titles that you might come across in your class. You can kind of play and turn on the subtitles and kind of follow along with the reading that way. If you have any questions about different writing formats, this is kind of my go-to website. It's called OWL Purdue Writing Lab. If you're looking for how to format a paper in MLA format or create a bibliography, it even has sources on how to create a cover letter or a recommendation letter, things like that. So really great website for just to double check, are you formatting your writing correctly? Are you following those certain formatting rules? And it gives a lot of information, a lot of details on how to do that correctly. Another website, if you're having trouble reading some of the text in class, I recommend going to Actively Learn. You can copy and paste the text from class directly into Actively Learn. It's a free website. You sign up, create an account. Copy and paste the text into a blank document there, and then on the sides, as you're reading, you can be, typing in annotations, you can be typing in notes, questions that you may be unsure about, about what's going on in the text that maybe you might want to ask your teacher later. So it's a great kind of note-taking activity that you can use as you read. Okay, and also, keep you more focused as you read, keep you more involved in the reading as you take notes. EasyBib is kind of my go-to website for research papers. If you're writing a research paper and you need to, you really need to cite that research correctly because you don't want to plagiarize, and you need to create, a works cited page or a bibliography. This website you can just copy and paste the URL that article for that article. Just copy and paste it into this website, and it will give you that exact formatted citation for that source. So it's really great website if you're using research and need to cite sources. And my last one is Quizlet. Maybe you've heard of this one before. It's kind of known as that flashcard website, but it also has some great games. It also has just a lot of other resources too. It's kind of expanded beyond flashcards. But if you come across a topic in class, if you come across a story in class, and you want to test yourself on it, chances are it's probably in Quizlet. If you go in there and you search for the title of that story, of that topic, it'll give you a whole list of different flashcards on it. My recommendation is to go for to use the flashcards that are teacher created, because they'll probably be a little more accurate, a little more credible. Okay, so those are some of my go-tos for English. I'm going to turn it over to history.
Hello, everybody. My name is Mr. B. I am the world history teacher here at Compass Charter Schools. I'm very happy to share a couple websites with everybody today. The first group that I have are going to be websites that are designed to help scholars understand the topics that are being taught in their class better. The first one I have is Google Earth. So Google Earth, I know, is not a new website, and it's a service that's been around for a while. But I think there are some hidden gems in Google Earth that you may not know about. So when you start Google Earth, this is usually the page that you come to. And if you just open up the options menu and you go to Voyager, you'll see something amazing happen. And that is there are already preloaded in Google Earth virtually dozens and dozens of different field trips, virtual field trips that you can go on. You can go and explore Perth. You can go to Toronto. You can go to San Francisco. And what it actually does, it'll bring you on a guided tour of the city or of there's other things in here as well, such as important trails, like hiking trails, Appalachian trails in here. There's some historical events, so you can actually go back in history and see how certain cities were built. World War II is a very popular theme when it comes to the historical field trips. But it really just gives students a chance to bring history alive. A lot of times what we discuss in class, it might be a little bit antiquated, a little bit boring for my scholars. And anytime that you can bring it to life by a virtual field trip or listening to a recording or even a video, the time period I found to be very helpful in promoting interest. So I would definitely recommend that you guys take a moment and check out that website. I have some others on here I'd also like to share with you. Another one is procon.org. This is a great site that I use with my scholars all the time. It does a really good job in identifying point of view. So whenever I am talking about a topic that's going to have different points of view, for example, the Revolutionary War, this is a great place that I would go to in order to have students expand their perception of the facts, really. For example, in Procon, if we were doing a topic on the Revolutionary War, I would have a group of students research the American perspective, but I'd also have another group of students research the British perspective. And it's always very interesting and enlightening for everybody involved to see how one historical event or topic can have so many different perspectives. So procon.org is a great place for that kind of information. Crash Course. This is a series of videos that are produced by a couple of brothers. They endearingly name themselves the Vlog Brothers. One's quite famous. John Greens wrote several different books. But these are short, highly interactive, animated, but also just packed with tons of historical facts on a number of topics. And yes, in history, but not only in history, you have videos in there from just about any topic that your scholar might be studying in high school and also in college. It comes in really helpful. Khan Academy is kind of a classic. Everybody's kind of heard of Khan Academy, and I will also promote it as well. It's a great place to find lessons, to find facts, to find videos. And what I've always found to be successful in my classes is if I can present information in a variety of ways to my scholars. This way, the scholar who just doesn't get it in one format, by giving them multiple formats in order to engage with that information, sometimes that you'll hit those visual scholars, you'll hit those auditory scholars, you'll hit those scholars that actually want to do something. They want to create something. So our kinesthetic scholars. Khan Academy is great for that. It has a wide variety of different sources that anybody can use, but I use regularly for my classes to enhance what's already going on. Another group of sites that I have included are sites that are designed, at least in my opinion, to build interest in world history. So the first group is really more personal. This is why I became a historian. This is what first piqued my interest in history at a young age. And these basically are news sites that are geared to be user-friendly for the scholar. So we have CNN 10, we have Channel 1, and we have the PBS NewsHour Extra. What makes these sites so user-friendly for scholars is that they, once again, they summarize the information, they hit the main points, and what I've often found is that these are great sites to bring about conversations around the dinner table, or maybe even on that drive on the weekend to the market. The last group of sites that I'm going to promote here are podcasts. Podcasts, they weren't around when I was a kid, but as you can imagine as an adult, these are another great way to promote interest in social studies topics, as well as any other topic that might be out there and of your interest. I know I don't always listen to podcasts that are related to history, but a few that I would actually recommend are stuff that you miss in history class, myths and legends, 15-minute history. These are all really, once again, dynamic, highly engaging. The production staff that's behind these podcasts do a great job in actually, once again, just bringing that content alive, that is being covered in the history, social studies courses. Myths and legends are great, especially at the beginning of the year when we're talking about Greek and Roman history, because you can bring in all of that religion that was associated with Greek and Roman mythology. The History of English podcast is great for the humanities classes, so one of those times where you can bring history and English together, where you talk about important topics in world history, like the French Revolution, and then also explore, what was the literary consequences or output after these events, and making those connections between English and history. Another great way to bring history alive. And then lastly, 15-minute history, another great way to promote topics in world history. Once again, those short snippets, just 15 minutes, doesn't take a whole lot of time commitment, but once again, it'll present the information that's already being presented in the course lessons and in the learning labs, but in a different format. And then once again, this is great for those students who just aren't, quote unquote, getting it in class. It gives them another format in order to explore these topics. Well, thanks so much for your time. That's all that I have for you guys.
Thank you so much, Mr. B and Mrs. Jennings. I appreciate your time. Now we have just a couple things for our learning coaches, some ideas to think about now that you've listened to this presentation. Was there anything that you learned today that you're looking forward to implementing? Is there anything that comes to mind that you might be struggling with English or history with your scholar, that they struggle with, that these resources could be of use to you? And are there any areas that you do really feel successful in? It's possibly something that we didn't mention and that you would like to share with your fellow learning coaches or our staff. So just please feel free to let us know any tips or tricks that you might have, or ways that you're going to utilize these, or that maybe you have and that have been of benefit to you and your scholar. You can post them here to the comments of this video, or you can reach out to us at info@compasscharters.org, because we would love to hear from you. Also, if you have any questions about this presentation, or possibly you have an idea of a presentation that you would like to see, you can give me a call at 805-807-8215. You're welcome to email me at kroberts@compasscharters.org. We would be happy to help you. If I can't answer the question, I can get that answered by somebody, another amazing team member we have here at Compass. Also, I'm going to be posting into the description of this video a link for you to click on that you could submit your Coach's Corner topic suggestion that way. So we've got lots of ways for you to reach out to us. We would love to hear from you. As always, Compass Charter Schools is so thankful to have you, our learning coaches, as a part of our Compass family. Thank you again for taking the time to watch this recording, and be sure to keep checking back on our YouTube channel because we are adding more resources all the time for our learning coaches. And of course, we hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you so much.